And that's going to do it for this hour of Fox News Live. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Jarrett, but don't go away because DaySide with Mike Jarrett and Juliette Huddy begins right now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jarrett. Coming up on DaySide, breaking news, a pastor found killed, his wife now admitting to his murder. We've got a live report coming from Tennessee.
And a Los Angeles hospital allegedly dumping homeless people on Skid Row, still in their hospital gowns and slippers. The practice may be more common than you think.
And Larry the Cable Guy is here, live, showing us how to...
Put some gravy on that stuff.
Get her done.
Get her done.
Uh-oh.
Hey, wait.
Oh, boy. Oh, I'm scared.
What is... Oh, there's something wrong on DaySide.
Let's call the Ghostbusters. Right now, on DaySide.
We begin DaySide with a Fox News alert. News out of the state of Tennessee, as Juliette was mentioning, where authorities say a minister's wife has now confessed to his murder.
Let's get out to Fox's Marianne Silber, live right now in Selmer, Tennessee, with the latest on that. Marianne?
Well, investigators just filled us in. They let us know that they had been questioning Mary Winkler overnight. They were able to gain enough information to go ahead and move forward with first-degree murder charges. But at this time, this is an ongoing investigation, so they aren't releasing a lot of information. But we do know that she will be coming back here, we're told tomorrow, and she voluntarily is coming back here. She agreed to come back on her own. And again, just to recap, Matthew Winkler was found shot in his home by church members where he was a pastor. Mary and the children, their 3 children were missing. They were found in Orange Beach, Alabama. Once they were found, that's when they started questioning Mary Winkler, trying to get information, trying to piece together what exactly happened here. And again, at this point, she is scheduled to come back here to Selmer, where the family lives, and she will be facing those first-degree murder charges, and that's what we know right now. Juliette, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Mike, 1 person killed, 11 others injured after a massive cruise ship catches fire. It was on the road to Jamaica. Now Princess Cruises is flying more than 2,600 passengers home. They have full refunds, though, of course. And I believe we were going to have a passenger from that cruise on right now, but...
He is on a cell phone all the way down from the Caribbean there, so we have lost him. Let's check with the control room. Hunter, you have him back or no? Okay.
Okay, and hopefully we can get that hooked up again and talk to this guy, because he was actually on there. He was on one of the floors right next to the floor that caught fire, and it was a pretty frightening situation, obviously. You're out there at sea. I think they were 7 miles away from land.
Exactly when the fire broke out. So as soon as we get his telephone call back up, we'll get to that. And also, we have some guests coming up on the situation out of Selmer, Tennessee as well, that breaking news about the minister and his family. But right now, speaking of Tennessee, President Bush spent the beginning of the week on the offensive, speaking to the American people about his strategy in Iraq and the war on terror. Let's bring in right now Congressman Harold Ford of the great state of Tennessee. And before we talk about President Bush and Iraq, I know that you want to mention just a little bit about the situation.
First of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you here. The situation in Tennessee, it has to shock the entire state, a story like this.
It's a tragedy, and one can only hope, with the respect that your reporter is according the situation, that we allow this confession and everything to kind of work its way through the legal system, and our prayers go out to those children as they obviously will now live a time without their daddy.
And their mommy.
Yeah, and their mom.
Yeah, she's confessed. Congressman, let's get to some of the items on the agenda. I know you wanted to talk about this. A lot is being made of the remarks that the president has been making over the last several days during this blitz, giving a lot of speeches, and one in particular about the troop levels after he's out of office. Now, there are critics of the war who say that they're seizing this essentially as an opportunity to say that he's lost control of the war. What are your thoughts on this? Has he?
Well, I don't know. I can only judge by his comments. The president made 2 statements. And as you know, I've been a supporter of the president, supporter of this war effort.
And you've been over there many times as well.
And a believer. I think I've supported the president as much as any Democrat in the Congress has. But he said there was not a civil war underway in Iraq, and the prime minister of Iraq says there is. Then he said that the troop level would be, our presence would be decided by a future president. Well, if that's the case, if the president wants to punt that, then I think it's reasonable for people to raise serious questions about whether or not he's exerting the kind of leadership that we're going to have to exert to win this and to give the Iraqi people a chance to govern themselves and concomitantly our troops an ability to reduce our presence. I thought the president would have made a stronger argument. The argument would have been, and I'm not here to make the president's argument, but I thought the argument would have been, we can't leave now because if we do, Iran is the real winner. You give them a Saddam-less Iraq. These three young men sitting in the front row who bravely serve our country. You give them an Iraq where America and Israel are despised more than they have been in a generation. And Iran is building a nuclear weapon, and a U.S. military that in many ways is trying to figure out its way and what its role is in the Middle East. This is not the time to leave. However, the president has done more in the last few days, I think, to dampen enthusiasm and confidence among the American people. Because the greatest threat, well, I think few people believe that he has a coherent and firm strategy. The greatest threat we face in Iraq in terms of winning, I think, is if the American people lose confidence. Because if we lose confidence, we can't stay there in full force.
Okay, how do we get the confidence back? Give us you say that he should change tactics.
Well, not just tactics. I think he has to explain why we have to be there. And if his answer for us being there is, number one, there's not a civil war, and it's clear that, according to the Iraqi leadership, there is a civil war on the way, and two, that he's just waiting for the next president to make determinations about troop levels, I think it's fair for his critics. You asked me the question, I think it's reasonable. I think it's more than reasonable for the critics to raise that. Now, the president, probably one or two other things he can do from a confidence building level. I like Don Rumsfeld, but if he worked in the real world, he'd have been fired by now. If he was the CEO of a company that promised that we'd have sales at this level, and we'd have employee morale at this level, and we'd have errors reduced to a certain level, he's been wrong on every position.
So increase confidence by firing him today?
Well, I think that would raise some confidence levels amongst those of us who believe that we have to win and that a new strategy can be put in place.
We have a lot of folks with
questions. Let's get some questions out here from the audience. Go ahead.
Yes, Representative, we hear a lot of negative talk from the Democrats. What would be your plan that would be different than what the president's doing?
Number one, I'd have a new Secretary of Defense. Number two, I'd follow the leadership of Ambassador Calazar. And I might add, this is just not Democrats raising these concerns. You can look at Republican senators and congressmen as well. Number two, I'd follow the leadership of my ambassador on the ground, Mr. Calazar, who's called for a summit of leaders, not to ask for more troops from our international partners, but to ask for ideas and their involvement. There's no advantage to having a monopoly on misery in Iraq, and we shouldn't want that. We should figure out how we bring more countries to the table. And finally, long-term, we still don't have a long-term strategy to wean ourselves off of all of this foreign oil, and Middle East oil in particular. If you look back when we weaponized Saddam Hussein 25 years ago almost, and when we weaponized bin Laden, we did it for one reason, oil. When Iran was fighting Iraq, we did it to prevent Iran from controlling Iraq. And when we weaponized bin Laden, we didn't want the Russians to have control of Afghanistan and have a strategic advantage in that region of the world. Here we are 25 years later, and oil is still a driving factor. We have to reduce our dependence. That's what I would do if I were president.
And I'm being told to wrap it. I just have to ask you this question because it's generated so much viewer email. Has television media, has the news been skewing the situation? You've been over there in Iraq several times. Do you think what's being reported is not what you're seeing?
Look, I'm in politics. I don't like what the press writes about me at times at home, and I get upset about it, but the press serves an incredible purpose in this country. And I think it's great when we see more pictures and have more data. When the facts aren't good, the facts just aren't good. If your team is winning, you know it. And if your team is losing, you know it, no matter what the press may say. So I think the president and Democrats and Republicans can pick at it a little bit, but some Democrats get mad at Fox News. I like it. I watch it. And some Republicans get mad at CNN. I watch that too.
Now, you're on the road. When you're in the hotel, do you demand Fox News be in your hotel room or not?
No, do I demand? I won't pay my bill unless there's Fox News.
See, there you go. The reason why we got to break away here, getting back to your home state, Roger Rickman is an investigator for the Selmer Police Department in Tennessee, and thank you so much for being with us. So tell us, for people who are just joining us around the world, what is the latest information about this case? This woman, Mrs. Winkler, Mary Winkler, has confessed to this crime?
That's my understanding, and we have issued warrants. The warrants have been faxed to Orange Beach, Alabama, and we anticipate her to be inserted within the next hour. We have agents down there from the West Tennessee Drug Task Force. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation are standing by.
I understand that this is an active investigation. Is there any information on why she would have done this?
I'm sorry?
Is there any information as to why she would have done this? Has she said why this happened, why she killed her husband?
No, I don't have that information. I'm sorry.
Do you have...
Oh, go ahead.
I was actually going to ask, has there been any information as far as any history of violence within the family? Have there been any problems before with this family? Domestic issues?
No, we have never had any reports with any violence with this family whatsoever.
And we keep hearing reports that possibly that she rented a condo down there at Orange Beach in Alabama. Could you confirm or deny that?
I cannot confirm that.
Okay.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on the situation. Thank you very much for joining us today. Paul Kerfman was a passenger on the cruise ship, the Princess cruise ship that caught fire. He's about to get on a plane. He was nice enough to join us by phone now to tell us what actually happened there. Paul, thanks for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can speak a little louder, but I can hear you.
All righty, so tell us what happened. You're sleeping, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and what happened?
Well, the alarm, first my wife got up and the alarms went off, and maybe it was just a drill, but soon there was smoke in the hallway, people running to their muster stations, which are the place to go when there's a problem on a ship, and we were all put in our areas, and we really didn't know what was going on for quite a while until the captain came on and said there's a fire on board, and they didn't know how serious it was. A lot of smoke, a little chaos at first, but they did a great job of getting us to safety and keeping us informed. A lot of damage on the ship, about 150 rooms, from what I understand.
So, Paul, I understand you were on the 11th floor. I know he's in an airport, getting ready to get on an airplane. That's why there's so much noise on his cell phone there. You were on the, I think the fire, basically, the main fire was on the 12th floor, as I understand. You're on the 11th. So you smelled smoke. Did you see flame?
There was some flames. We didn't see a lot of flames. We were on the opposite side of the ship. But the fire was below us. It was on the 9th or 10th floor. So we were on the 12th floor. So the smoke was rising and going throughout the cabins. A lot of smoke, a lot of stuff like that going on, as I mentioned before. But they did a great job of keeping us, informed and safe, and it's been quite an ordeal.
And so what happens now? You're heading back home, and will you ever go on a cruise again?
Absolutely. It's been a fun time so far, but, Princess has been very good to us, and I'm sure that I will go on another one, and, it's just been kind of a headache the last day or two here, but we're getting on a plane right now out of Jamaica.
If you live in Minnesota, yes, you go to the Caribbean no matter what, I would guess. But
absolutely, I would take the Caribbean.
Maybe fly down.
Yeah, every weekend. Paul, do you have family? Tell us about. Are you down there on the ship by yourself, or do you have family?
Actually, my wife and my 3 daughters are with. Summer break for them. It's my birthday tomorrow, and it was going to be my present, but
happy
I'm on the
birthday.
way home.
Well, I'll tell you what. With 3 kids, I'd be freaked out. What was the situation with your family? Did they get scared? Did you think, oh my God, Titanic, I got to get it in a lifeboat?
Well, my daughter's favorite movie is Titanic, so she was a little concerned. I have twin daughters that are 17 and one that's 14. But all in all, everything stayed fairly calm, and again, it's quite an ordeal to go through, but it was handled great.
All right, well, that's good news, Paul. Thanks very much for joining us today. Good luck on your flight back. Hope everything's safe for you.
That's for sure. Well, we got to get back to this other story out of Tennessee. A wife admits now, just a few minutes ago, well, actually overnight, killing her husband. We got the information a few minutes ago. Up next, what would drive her to commit a crime like this?
And hospitals allegedly dumping homeless people on the street like trash. We are one of the wealthiest countries in the world. How is this happening? Why is it happening? Is there any kind of defense to it? We're going to talk about it.
Oh, wait a minute. Folks, it's...
Oh, you planned this.
No, there's
You just
something...
want it dark here for... Not for me.
Oh, no.
Some hot ladies in the audience is what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah. We got to figure this out. There's something wrong. Who can we call, folks?
Whoa, there's some energy there.
Well, we didn't even plan that. That was pretty good. Who are we going to call?
And they'll be coming in a little bit. We'll be right back.
For years, E-Trade stood outside, throwing stones at the financial establishment. Now that we've matured and offer everything from trading to banking, we're doing it from inside. Be extraordinary at eTrade.com.
America's hospitals care for everyone with skill and compassion. But now the administration is talking about cuts in health care for the most vulnerable. Cuts that could affect millions of newborns and children and put millions of seniors and disabled Americans at risk. cuts that could hurt our ability to respond to natural disasters and new threats like the avian flu. Ask Congress to protect our patients. Keep America's hospitals prepared to care.
Why do I have to go through so many steps to test my blood sugar?
Why do I have to fumble with all those tiny strips every time I test?
With the 10-test disc and no coding required, the Breeze Meter from Bayer makes the process of testing your blood much easier. It's the one-step way to eliminate the struggle with small individual test strips, so there are no hassles, no fumbling with tiny strips, and no more questions.
Why didn't anyone think of this before?
Easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Yes, Mr. Puppy, there is so much to discover. Like Beneful Healthy Growth for puppies, with crunchy rice, real chicken, and real milk. Even vitamin-rich vegetables. There's extra protein for those growing muscles, and calcium for developing healthy bones and teeth. You just think you're getting spoiled. Life is good. Very good.
Beneful Healthy Growth for puppies. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful.
I'm thinking of a number between 450 and 850. Do you know what it is? It's my credit score, and it happens to be 720. The higher my credit score, the better chance I have of saving a lot of money.
Do you know your credit score? Do you know what's in your credit report? You can find out right now at freecreditreport.com. You can even print it out if you want to.
How much easier could it get? Log on to freecreditreport.com. That's freecreditreport.com.
Free credit report offer applies with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
Tonight, from Mary Kay Letourneau to Deborah LaFave, teacher-student sex has turned our schools into perverted playgrounds. Now, this judge is on a mission to keep your kids safe. Join Bill tonight as he exposes teachers against the plan on an all-new Factor.
Welcome back to DaySide. Authorities say Mary Winkler, the wife of a slain pastor, has confessed to killing her husband now.
She has agreed to return to Tennessee to face first-degree murder charges. Jennifer Johnson is the spokesperson for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and Judge Andrew Napolitano is our very own Fox News senior judicial analyst. And Jennifer, if you don't mind, we're going to start with you. So everybody's talking about it this morning, and you've been talking about it as well. This first-degree murder charges come down so quickly. It was all based on the confession, right?
Well, it wasn't all based on the confession, but certainly that's what we've mentioned here in the warrant. We had some conversations with her last night. We also executed a search warrant on the van in a room that they had been staying in. So between those two things, we felt like this was appropriate.
Can you give us any information on why she did this, the motive?
You know, we're not really getting into a lot of that right now. She has obviously talked to our agents and given them more information that we've put in here. But we don't like to talk about a lot of that before it goes to court. We don't want to taint the case or do anything that would jeopardize it in court.
So, Judge, when they first degree, what does that instantly say to you, first degree?
It tells me that the government has evidence, either forensic evidence or out of the mouth of this woman, that she planned and plotted this. I mean, first-degree murder is something that you prepare to do. It's not just snapping on the spot.
Can you tell us, Jennifer, if there was some sort of condominium that she had on the side, and is that playing a role in this investigation?
I'm not aware of any kind of a condominium or anything of that nature. She was in her van when she was found down there. We know that she stayed in a motel room one of those nights, but I'm not familiar with a condominium.
And Jennifer, can you tell us if the forensic investigation of that van that was seized, was that also a part of the a major primary part of bringing in the first-degree murder charge?
Well, it was. The search of the van was very critical to the investigation, as was the interview with her. So you can put two and two together and probably come up with why it's first-degree murder.
Questions in the audience?
Yes. Does Tennessee have a death penalty?
Yes. Yes. So there's two first-degree murder charges possible. One is capital murder, where the government would seek her execution. The other is 30 years without parole.
So what do we do now? How soon will she be brought back to Tennessee, Jennifer?
Well, it's my understanding that she's going to be in some kind of hearing this afternoon. Those kinds of issues about extradition will have to be sorted out in Alabama. I'm not sure exactly what the procedure is there.
But she has agreed to it?
She could waive extradition and come back.
Oh,
no, not to my knowledge.
Not to
no.
Okay.
I don't even think she's been to court yet.
And Judge, very quickly, the fact that she does have a confession, that does that mean that there will be a trial, won't be a trial? Explain that whole
Actually, it doesn't mean that there won't be a trial. Believe it or not, you can confess to a crime on a Friday and claim that you were insane on Wednesday when you committed the crime. So it doesn't mean that there won't be a trial here. We may be in for a long haul ahead of us.
Judge, thank you very much. Jennifer Johnson, thank you as well. Thank you.
Juliet, this is a hotly debated topic. Who has it easier, stay-at-home moms or career moms? Ahead on DaySide, we are talking about the mommy wars.
This is really a really good topic,
it.
and the woman that we have coming on here has some interesting takes on this.
Women are conflicted about this, even in 2006.
And they can be very judgmental.
All right.
Because of insecurity.
Don't point that finger at me. It's mommy wars when we come back.
This program is brought to you by Branson. Call 1-800-BRANSON or visit explorebranson.com.
What the people need is a way to make them smile. It ain't so hard to do if you know how. Whoa, whoa, listen to the music. Whoa, whoa, listen to the music all the time.
Come listen to the music. Call 1-800-BRANSON or visit explorebranson.com.
I've been a psycho ex-girlfriend for years, but I never really knew how psycho I was until my friends started asking for advice.
Kathy?
Run! That's when I decided to take my company online with web.com. Their low rates and unsurpassed customer service make doing business online a breeze. Well, I gotta go. Duty calls.
Hello, Steven.
Web.com, the easiest way to get your business on the web. Maybe a little too easy.
Freedom, the only one application hemorrhoidal cream. Freedom, the only one application hemorrhoidal cream. Freedom, the only one application hemorrhoidal cream.
Head-on migraine. Migraine relief applied directly to the forehead. You know how a migraine feels, and so do we. Trust Head-on Migraine to face your toughest pain. Head-on Migraine. Head-on Extra Strength. Headache relief applied directly to the forehead. When you're in pain, time counts. Safe and effective headache relief. Anytime, anywhere. Head-on Extra Strength.
If you or a loved one had heart surgery and are suffering from kidney failure resulting in dialysis, or suffered a stroke or heart attack shortly after surgery, it may be a result of a pre-operative injection. Call 1-800-LAW-5755.
Hello? No.
Want to refinance to a low fixed rate or consolidate bills? DaySide's total lender fee is just $395. Log on or call 1-800-716.
What happens when bitter rivals make it personal? What happens when two enemies come face to face? Pretty boy Floyd Mayweather, undefeated and pound for pound the best in the world. Zab Super Judah, explosive, powerful. His back's against the wall and he's never been more dangerous. Mayweather versus Judah, sworn enemies to the bitter end. Saturday, April 8th, live on Dish Network pay-per-view. Don't miss Mayweather versus Judah, live on Dish Network pay-per-view.
Homeowners, need cash? You need to know about the no closing cost home equity line of credit from Countrywide. Unlike many lenders, with Countrywide there's no application fee, no credit reporting fee, no appraisal fee, no underwriting fee, no closing costs. So you could use more of your loan to pay off credit cards and lower your bills. The no closing cost home equity line of credit from Countrywide. No one can do what Countrywide can. Call now and see if you qualify.
Call 1-800-641-1797.
Welcome back to DaySide. Somewhat disturbing video out of Los Angeles showing what appears to be a homeless woman still in a hospital gown. She has her slippers on. She's dumped on the streets of Skid Row out of a taxi, and you're not going to believe where she came from.
It is called patient dumping, and homeless advocates say, unfortunately, this is not an uncommon practice. Let's find out about that. Jan Perry is a city councilwoman in Los Angeles. Jan, are we overstating here? Is this a common practice?
Well, it is all too common. Meeting with the city attorney yesterday, he cited a long list of cases that they have been documenting over the last several months of various hospitals and medical institutions basically taking people to Skid Row and dumping them. Apparently yesterday a hospital from West Covina discharged a patient. Hospital was probably 30 to 35 miles away, brought this individual down to Skid Row and then dumped her while a news truck was actually in front of the mission. So they caught that one on tape as well.
The one that we're looking at right now, this woman apparently the video was taken by a mission. You can see at one point a taxi go up, make a U-turn, go out of the picture, and then this woman walks sort of aimlessly down the road. She goes into the mission. She was disoriented. Kaiser Permanente is the hospital that let this happen. They say, quote, "Our handling of this case violated our own standards and practices and is contrary to our mission and values. This should not have happened." They say they're taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen again. And they say that they take appropriate steps to make sure that each patient, when they're released, has access to food, shelter, services, things like that. Is that not the case, do you think?
Well, clearly that isn't the case, and clearly they didn't make a connection with the Union Rescue Mission prior to having Ms. Reyes taken by taxi to the mission. And as you can see from the tape, the cab driver drives past the mission. The cameras are on the front of the mission building, and they document what's happening on the sidewalk. She walks in the curb lane. She could have been hit by a car. She's clearly frail and disoriented, and there he left her to wander until someone from the mission came out and got her.
Yeah. Jan, we have an audience here. We have some questions or comments. Go ahead.
Are these cases of discrimination, do you think?
Is it discriminatory, do you think, Jan? Is it just...
Well, I think it discriminates in the sense against people who are elderly, frail, and suffering from mental illness.
Yeah. Here, another question.
I'm a nurse in a inner city ER, and we have at times discharged patients to the address they give us, and one of them happens to be the city mission.
It does, but do you make sure that they get...
We make sure they get there. We provide them taxi fare. We feed them, and we also give them hospital gowns if they come in and their clothes are inappropriate.
Yeah, if they don't have families and they got to be released from the hospital, are there procedures in place? Is a taxi ride enough? It seems like there might be a van that could take them down there or something.
I believe it is there are state mandated discharge protocols in which all hospitals must engage. Yeah. And part of that includes making sure the patient has a mode of transportation and making contact with the receiving institution so that they know the individual is coming and that the individual may have special needs.
Well, that's the thing.
That didn't happen here.
Special needs, I think, is the key here. These people, a lot of times, are mentally ill, or they are disoriented because of their age. I read a report that says the LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, frequently sees people in the Skid Row area where there are a lot of missions, walking around with the hospital tags on their wrists, and sometimes even wearing colostomy bags. I mean, so are these hospitals just kind of saying, oh, it's kind of not our problem anymore, we're just going to get them off the streets, even with people who really do have special needs? I mean, how big of a problem is it, I guess, is the final question I have.
I think it is a very big problem because the number of cases are rising, not necessarily decreasing. When you see people in a hospital gown with no shoes, with needles in their arms or IVs in their arms, clearly they were in some medical institution, and clearly no one removed it.
The nurse, Jan, wants to fire back. I'm just wondering, why is it the hospital's responsibility? I mean, all of us are going, oh, this is horrible, but do you want homeless service facilities in your backyard, in your neighborhood? A lot of people don't.
Well, people have to go somewhere.
That's a bigger
problem.
Have
to go somewhere.
And sometimes people
because there are over 80 cities in the county of Los Angeles, and many of those cities have refused to allow homeless services in their respective cities. They don't want them, quite frankly. It's the NIMBY syndrome, not in my backyard.
Not in my backyard. Jan Perry, thank you very much for trying to follow this story, especially if they do information out of Orange County. But Ms. Nurse, what should we do?
We need to provide more services. I don't have the answer. It's a very difficult question. We should not kick patients out because they don't have insurance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jan Perry. Appreciate you joining us today. All right, coming up ahead on DaySide, Larry, the cable guy, is here. And he's going to tell us all about his new movie. He's actually coming out this week.
No.
And he's also going to explain biscuits and gravy to me. I'm just kidding, Mike. I went to University of Missouri, and we used to eat that every morning.
Well, I'll tell you this,
the Freshman 20.
Put some gravy on it, okay? Oh, no! See, who are we going to call about the lighting problem in here? Yeah, real Ghostbusters coming by to see if we can get rid of these spirits, maybe evil spirits, in our studio. We're coming right back. We're coming right back. I'm not kidding you. I'm scared.
why Geico.com is so simple? Or is it because you can chat with an associate if you need help and get a free rate quote in minutes? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
You think plan. Office Depot thinks paper. You think locations. Office Depot thinks laptops. You think how to build your business. Office Depot thinks how to supply it. And now through Saturday, get $3 off your next Office Depot in-store purchase when you recycle your ink or toner cartridge in-store. You take care of business. Office Depot takes care of you.
Taking care of business. Something new. Stop, drop, settle down, open up shop. Oh, no, that's how rough riders roll. Stop, drop, settle down, open up shop. Oh.
With our coolest cars at our lowest prices at Avis.com, everyone can roll out in style. Just another way we try harder.
Quality meat, no fillers.
Oscar Mayer has a way. B-O-O-O-T-N-A.
Oscar Mayer bologna for a taste that sings.
If you have indoor or outdoor allergies, ask your doctor about something different. Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of allergy symptoms. And Singulair is approved to help relieve both indoor and outdoor allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat indoor and outdoor allergies.
Break it, drizzle it, dunk it, crave it. Lobster Fest is back. Taste new combinations like succulent Maine and rock lobster tails or irresistible lobster with snow crab, only at Red Lobster.
Call or go online today to get this Dimension desktop and a free 15-inch flat panel upgrade for only $3.99. And now you can protect your Dell PC with the McAfee Security Center for just $79. It's all you need to help keep your Dell PC protected and running smoothly. It's more than a great deal. It's a Dell.
I'm telling you, it just happened again before we came back. The lights started going crazy again, Ben. I don't know.
Oh, didn't we? Yeah.
Okay, we got to do something about it. But first, I am so tired because I stayed up to watch that UCLA game against Gonzaga. And I want to tell you about that in just a second. It's not just me. We have a problem with the lights. We're going to get to that in just a second.
Yeah, but remember this story just a couple days ago? The survival story, amazing survival story of a family of six in Oregon this week. They went out on a trip in their big motorhome in early March, but they slid off the road. They got stuck in the snowdrifts, blah, blah, blah. They're stranded for over 2 weeks. Well, guess what?
Yeah, well, remember they were miraculously discovered, as you said. Well, miraculously, the police were watching our story, apparently.
Yeah, there's an active warrant for Mr. Higginbotham and his wife, the husband and wife there. The deputy commander of the Navajo County Sheriff's Department told a newspaper that the Higginbothams were arrested last year in Arizona. They weren't charged, though. They were arrested on 3 felony counts, including possession of methamphetamines and possession of a shotgun. Supposedly the family was cooperating, but all of a sudden they just sort of hightailed it and nobody saw him again.
Wow, methamphetamine.
Meth. Crystal meth, as it's called.
No wonder they weren't hungry. No, I shouldn't say that. You never. Okay, so, again, I'm blaming all my...
DaySide at FoxNews.com. I'm sure the emails are going to be coming in now.
My behavior is a little off, but not too much. But no, I was up till 2 o'clock. No, I was up till 2 o'clock watching my sister. I'm from Arkansas. And Kansas. No, I'm from Kansas. My daughter, Jessica, went to UCLA, so I was reading for UCLA. I thought, no, there's no way they're going to come back against Gonzaga. And they did. So the teams that made it through, most exciting games, LSU, UCLA, Memphis, and Texas. Yeah, Duke is out. Goodness gracious.
Tonight's games are going to be good, though. I love Florida, the Gators. Those Gators. Yeah, they're playing tonight. And George Mason. Yeah, we've got some family members here. It's okay, you can scream. Cream, we want you to do that.
They're in
Cream and
Fairfax,
Boy,
Virginia, right? That's where the school is, Fairfax?
That's a very good
God,
call,
these games
too,
were
so.
exciting. But some sports commentators were saying, well, everybody was crying. J.J. Redick of Duke was crying. It was the last game. But then Adam Morrison really started crying. Look at Adam after the game. It was a heartbreaking loss. No question. They had
Well,
this
is he
game.
a senior or something? Or?
Well, he
Do we
may...
know?
Big baby. He may not come back. That may have been his last moment in basketball. So I think
he made it so far. I mean...
Oh, I know, but they were so far ahead. I think UCLA outscored them 11-0 in the last 3 minutes, so it's heartbreaking. But I heard a lot of guys going, well, you shouldn't cry like a baby on the court there.
It's okay for men to cry.
I think it's okay to cry,
I like
too.
it.
I'm a crier.
Yeah, he is a crier. Oh, boy, here we go again.
I think that's the difference between the NBA and college basketball is people are into it that much that they will weep when they
you're a
don't do well.
we're a weepy kind of guy, and so, of course, you would support that.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Were you scared? Did you start to weep when the lights went out this morning? Did you?
A little bit.
Were you weepy?
Only my laundryman knows how scared I was.
DaySide at foxnews.com. Right on.
It all depends. And I have them on.
Okay, we've got some problems here in the studio. Mike, who are we going to call?
Folks, who are we going to call to fix this problem? And here they are. Oh, we got,
Wow.
There they are.
Big Ghostbusters.
Come on.
Yeah,
Hi, Dan. That's Dan and Dom and Tony. Got that right, huh? Now, the old Ghostbusters had giant packs on their back. You just have that little wand or something.
Well, yeah, they look good in the movies, but they're hard to walk around the city with.
Real guys.
You actually do ghost busting. You go into homes. There's one home, the Willoughby House in upstate New York.
Yeah, Newburgh. Yeah.
Go in there. In Newburgh, oh yeah. Oh, it's a great area. That's by the Mohawk Mountain House. It's a fantastic resort, I have to say. This is what we're looking at right now. Though. The Willoughby. Is that right?
Where is it? Actually, this isn't the Willoughby House. This is a different house upstate.
Okay, but it's still upstate, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Somewhere in upstate
Close
New York.
enough. It's up.
What's when you went to the Willoughby House? It used to be a sanitarium.
The Willoughby House. It was built in the. I don't know what that is. It was built in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And it was a sanitarium till the 30s, and then from the 30s up to about 2 years ago, it was a funeral parlor. And it's a big old beautiful house, and it still has the embalming room. I spent some time in the embalming room late at night, and it has the elevator. And
who hasn't? Come on. Yeah. So, how many people in the audience here believe in spirits or ghosts? You know, put your hands up. Come on. Energy up, folks. You do? Okay. Well, so what do you do about it now? I mean, do you actually see the figure on your monitors and things?
I mean, if we get lucky, it's. Somebody will call. Somebody will be having a disturbance in their house, like having something going on that they can't explain. They'll give us a ring. We'll talk to them on the phone, decide whether or not it's worth going. Sometimes you get a lot of kind of crazy calls.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how that would be.
Yeah.
But so you guys go in there and you set up a bunch of little Geiger counter thingies. I don't know if that's what they're called.
Well,
so I just
we have a lot of thingies. But,
thingamajiggies.
Now, do you other two guys talk?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, you need to ask them. Conversation, but yeah, we do talk.
Not now,
but not now. So what is going on here, do you think?
Well, we're looking for the reason.
See,
well,
there
right
it goes
here.
again.
Well, we actually did an investigation earlier in the studio, and we found out some guy back there is flicking your lights on and off.
Yeah.
It's not paranormal at all. It's just him.
That's it.
Red, yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
Oh my gosh, what's happened?
What are we looking at?
I don't know what that is.
Well, but wait, as you guys go into houses and you leave a bunch of equipment, you go off for a couple hours, right? You don't actually stay.
Yeah, we have usually dinner, something. Leave the house unattended.
You're not in the house while it's all happening. Well, I wouldn't be either.
We'll do a walkthrough of the house, and we have got some meters and stuff like that we can go through that measure atmospheric changes, magnetic field changes.
Right.
We'll set up. We have a DVR with some infrared cameras, and we'll set that up and let that run for a while.
If people think they have problems in their house, who do they call? I mean, now it's Ghostbusters. Don't do it again. But do you have a website or something like that?
Yes, we do. It's paranormal-nyc.com.
And you do charge to do this?
No, it's a completely free service.
Well, see, there you go. You're gonna be really busy, I have a feeling.
Hope so.
Mike's got a
So again, all we have
going on in
here.
his house, but I don't think they're ghosts. Not that I know.
It's frightening.
Firsthand or anything.
Our only problem is Crazy Matt in the back then.
Right. That's your problem.
He has a lot of problems. But thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Speaking of crazy, all right, there are some crazy theories as to what happened on 9/11, and we wanted to talk about this because we have received a lot of email supporting him and lambasting him. Charlie Sheen, did you hear about what he said? Essentially, he said a couple days ago that he's talking about how he thinks that there might be something other than what is being reported happening with 9/11. He called the hijackers a bunch of amateurs with box cutters. Now, they were pilots. They
yeah, but he
flew
thinks
planes.
it's just all too sophisticated for amateurs to do.
He also said something about the towers falling down. He said it looked like a controlled demolition.
Because they collapsed like a pancake.
Yeah, despite the fact that there were numerous hour-long, 2-hour-long, 3-hour-long shows with engineers, scientists debunking that. But we have a lot of emails here. One person said, one person is accusing the media of not covering this because I guess, you know, who cares what Charlie Sheen thinks? I don't know. Maybe people aren't covering it. This person writes, I'm not surprised that you chose to drop the Charlie Sheen 9/11 segment, because we actually talked about doing this yesterday, and I said on my blog.
And you said it on the blog.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
If we 9/11 skeptics are so loony, quote, unquote, I never said that, then why do you avoid addressing our questions as if they were the plague? It couldn't be that you are afraid there may be some truth to the conspiracy theory. Could it? We're not afraid to debate you. Bring it on. We actually wanted to bring Charlie Sheen on. We called him. No response. Absolutely no response. And
I know that he's changed agents and managers recently.
Well, he's gone through a lot of upheaval in his personal life. Guy married and seemed to not act like he was married. But anyway, so here's the invitation, Charlie. If you're watching the show, we'd love you to come on and explain your theories about this. What do you guys think? I mean,
should we have him on? Yeah, talk about it.
What do you think about what he has to say? Anybody have any comments on that? We have any mics out there? You're all so quiet today.
Okay, does anybody in the audience think that there is that there was conspiracy here, or those 19 guys? It was the 19 guys, right? Okay.
All right, well, email us at dayside@foxnews.com whether you support Charlie Sheen, you don't think he's crazy, whether you think there's a conspiracy theory, whatever. We're going to talk about this over the coming days.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank y'all for hanging in for that.
All right.
Okay, who's really had this easier in America today? Working moms or stay-at-home moms, Juliet?
I wouldn't know, but the author of the new book, Mommy Wars, is here, and she's got a very, very interesting take on this.
And we're going to get her done. Ready for some blue-collar comedy, because the star of the new movie, Larry the Cable Guy, will be here live in our studio. So start emailing questions to him right now. DaySide@foxnews.com.
When a global financial firm understands your needs, like it's just the two of you, could it be the most powerful two-person financial firm in the world? You and us. UBS.
So much can happen in the space of a few seconds. The Acura collision mitigation braking system detects a potential hazard ahead. The driver is warned so he can react. If necessary, the system would have applied the brakes to lessen the potential impact. The Acura RL. It gives your reflexes a head start.
What is your cat dreaming about? Same thing every cat dreams about. Great flavor combinations for dry food. Discover the dry food cats have dreamed about. Friskies with multi-flavored combo pieces. Chicken and turkey flavored combos, salmon and chicken flavored combos, and tuna and salmon flavored combos. Multi-flavored bites mean cats get more out of life. Try Friskies dry foods with multi-flavored combos. Friskies for more.
Without strong shoulders, who would support them? One A Day wants you to stay strong for them. Because as early as 30, women can start to lose bone mass. That's why there's One A Day Women's, a complete multivitamin that's specially formulated for women with twice the calcium of Centrum. One A Day Women's. And for the man in your life, there's One A Day Men's, a complete multivitamin with selenium, which emerging research suggests may reduce the risk of prostate cancer. One A Day Men's.
What is Medicare's new prescription drug coverage all about, and how will it affect me?
What if we already have drug coverage? Can we still save with Medicare Part D?
How do I qualify for Medicare Part D?
Everyone has questions about Medicare's new prescription drug coverage, Medicare Part D.
And everyone can get the answers they need by requesting free educational materials from United Healthcare, provider of the AARP Medicare RX plan. There's no obligation. Call now to receive the 24-page Show Me Guide with answers to your specific questions of how Medicare Part D may save you money. Plus, an information kit for the AARP Medicare RX plan, insured by United Healthcare.
I called for the answers to my Medicare Part D question, and I'm so glad I did.
Call the number on your screen now for your free Show Me Guide and information kit on the AARP Medicare RX plan. It's for anyone with questions about Medicare's new prescription drug coverage. Call now.
Property Predictions, what your home will be worth 1 year down the road. Then they're trying to drag down the economy. Who are they? Can they be stopped? Plus, can the war in Iraq boost the market's morale? The smart money with a strategy for victory. The Cost of Freedom starts at 10 a.m. Don't miss it.
According to a recent census, more than half of all mothers with a graduate or professional degree no longer work full-time, choosing to spend more time at home with their children.
Well, which group really has it easier, stay-at-home moms or working mothers? Leslie Morgan-Steiner is the author of Mommy Wars. She's the author of Mommy Wars. Stay-at-home and career moms face off, their choices, their lives, their families, and she joins us now in studio. This is a really interesting book. You got 27 moms, working and non-working moms, to write essays about just their thoughts on this. And I think that the most interesting thing that you've come, the conclusion that you've come to is that the war that these two groups seem to have with each other really comes back to themselves. It's an internal war within the mom itself. Explain that.
That's exactly true. What I found in asking moms to write about this so-called mommy wars, what they really wanted to write about was their own personal struggle, the struggle inside their own head, that inner dialogue about whether I'm doing the right thing by working or staying home with my kids. And that's really what the mommy wars are all about, an internal battle that sometimes gets played out in judgments about other moms.
So if we're still talking about this in 2006, what do you advise women who are going through this conflict? How do you get some peace of mind about your decision?
I think you really have to have a ongoing inner dialogue with yourself and your friends, and really examine what you're jealous of in other women. And if you are jealous of other women, it's probably because you want a little more of what they have.
Okay, career moms, put your hands up. Where are you? Aha, you're all grouped together. You feeling guilty?
Not at all. I'm a working mom, and I work for a family law firm, and they gave me paid maternity leave. I brought both my kids to work with me till they were almost a year. They come to after school, and I think the companies have to do more. I think we need the companies, and a lot of the bigger companies do have on-site daycare, and if you have that available, I think that's going to make a difference in your choice.
Yes, I agree. That's totally true. I also think that we have gotten a lot of equality at work, but we need more equality at home, too. We need to get our husbands and families to help us more at home.
Juliet, should we find some stay-at-home moms?
Oh.
No, I'm not looking at you.
Yeah,
unless you want to announce something right now.
No, I've got nothing to announce.
Okay.
Mike, thanks for
stay-at-home moms
once again.
Do we have some stay-at-home moms? Okay, here we go. Did you have, well, apparently you had a choice. Why'd you make that choice?
Because his career was so demanding, and I needed to maintain stability at home.
Right. Well, with those two, you better believe it, right? They turned out really well.
Yeah, and I had a 4-year degree in accounting, and I have turned that into volunteering at school and doing things. And
is there anything that working moms say to you that just really gets you going?
No.
Okay.
What I hear
they all seem to have their little one-liners that they can't stand hearing.
Yes, it's absolutely true. Stay-at-home moms hate to hear, God, I just don't know what you do all day. As if they have any free time, because you know very well you don't have any free time. You're working very hard. And working moms hate to hear the comments like, God, I just couldn't leave my child at daycare all day.
Yeah, you ever heard that one?
I'm a working mother now, and there's no one at home anymore. But I did stay home for 12 years and raise the kids.
So?
And before I went back. And it was hard. It's hard to...
On both ways? Both sides?
Ways.
Yeah.
I will tell you, when my kids were younger, when I went to work, those were my easier days. My harder days were my days at home. I had 3 kids in 3 years. Those were the hard days when I was at home.
Mike, you know, we always go to a little cafe after work, and they
she wants
have
to
these...
date me.
No, I don't. But they have these groups of these moms that are out with their little kids, and I'm telling you, I'm tired, and I'm sitting there eating my eggs watching this, and I need a nap after the whole thing. I mean, it's a job. Yeah. Watching your kids, just one little kid.
One little last comment up here.
I'm not working right now. My children are grown. But my question is, with the fast-paced work that we have now and all the things mothers have to do you think that the children are suffering from this?
No, I don't think that children are suffering at all. And studies have shown that working moms and stay-at-home moms spend the exact same amount of time on a daily basis with their kids.
Boy.
And so I think the kids, as long as a mom is happy, the kids are pretty happy.
Yeah, it's all about the kids. Read more about it in your book, and it's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And she did edit
Great
it
stuff.
because it was essays.
Yes.
So it's our
I wrote
first
and
author.
edited,
Okay.
yeah.
Up next, the star of the new movie, Larry the Cable Guy, live in the studio. Well, maybe he won't be with us. Somebody help Larry!
God, is there a PA or something?
If you or a loved one had heart surgery and are suffering from kidney failure resulting in dialysis, or suffered a stroke or heart attack shortly after surgery, it may be a result of a pre-operative injection. Call 1-800-LAW-5755.
Don't let arthritis pain stop you from doing what's important to you. Just 2 Aleve have the strength to stop arthritis pain all day.
That's good news. That's Aleve. Is the IRS ruining your life? Are IRS penalties and interest compounding daily? Stop the cycle now.
Hello, I'm John Harris, president of J.K. Harris & Company. The people who negotiate for our clients are former IRS agents and tax professionals. They've helped our clients save millions of dollars. You, too, could qualify to significantly reduce your tax debt.
Call the IRS experts at J.K. Harris now for your free confidential tax settlement analysis.
Call 1-800-249-9947.
On the day of his wedding,
Oh!
Victor panicked and fled, and by grave misunderstanding, married the corpse bride instead.
You may kiss the bride.
From the creator of The Nightmare Before Christmas,
Who is she? I'm his wife.
Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter,
Maggot.
Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Would you like to lower your mortgage payments up to 35%?
I can reduce my monthly payments? Tell me how.
Introducing Smart Choice, the home loan exclusively from Quicken Loans. Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing, Smart Choice is the answer. Here's an example. A traditional 30-year loan for $200,000 at 7% interest would be $1,330 a month. But with Smart Choice, that same loan would be an amazingly low $850 a month. That's a difference of over $5,700 a year.
That's good news. So what are we waiting for?
Call toll-free now and see how you can lower your monthly payments up to 35%. The Smart Choice Loan. It's great for refinancing or for purchasing that new home. You get monthly payment flexibility, so you can decide to pay just interest or make payments to principal whenever you want. Call this toll-free number now or go to QuickenLoans.com to get started and lower your mortgage payments up to 35%. But don't wait. Take advantage today while rates are still low.
The only 24-hour network devoted to racing and the automotive lifestyle is at Channel 150. Speed. And race fans, now you can be in the middle of the action. Join Speed Fantasy Cup Auto Racing on Dish Network. You pick your drivers, you race your friends, you head to Victory Lane and win awesome prizes. Turn to Channel 100 and for $4.99 per segment, you're in the race. Speed Fantasy Cup Auto Racing, only at Channel 100 on Dish Network. Get signed up before the green flag drops.
Babysit your inbred hillbilly butt. I've decided to assign you a partner.
You expect me to work with a dadgum boy.
I'm Amy.
So your parents gave you a girly name to toughen you up. I like that.
That was a clip from the movie Larry the Cable Guy, Health Inspector. It opens nationwide theaters today. And look who's here.
Hi, Larry.
Larry the Cable Guy. We call him Lars. Lars the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
What is that? Okay, explain that to me.
Juliet doesn't get it. I mean, I grew up in Kansas, you grew up in Nebraska. she's been all over to hoity-toity cities.
Well, Get Her Done is, see, we're from small town.
That's right.
You know, is where we're from. I was actually a C-section baby. I was born in Section C of a Waylon Jennings concert. 63, that's true. But I started calling radio stations in 91, and I signed off with Get Her Done. And everybody goes, what's it mean? I go, whatever you got to do, just get her done. Give her 110%, get her done. Of course, some people use it the wrong way. It can mean anything.
I was going to say, when Mike uses it, it's usually...
Yeah, like, get her done.
Yeah, get her done.
That's
creepy when he says it. And when you say it, too, actually.
She also wanted about the gravy thing. We'll just put some gravy on it.
Yeah, gravy.
That covers everything.
I went to college in Missouri, biscuits and gravy. I get it, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Everybody loves gravy.
Well, what does that mean? You just going to throw gravy on everything?
Yeah, you just douse it all in gravy. If you don't eat it with gravy, you're a communist. Seriously, get out of the country if you don't eat gravy.
Like when she comes in the morning, she says, oh, my hair is horrible today. Put some gravy on it. Wouldn't that work, too?
That
you
would
put
work.
Gravy on anything.
Yeah, well, maybe not that. I think you're losing it, Mike. Maybe not.
I've had too much gravy.
We lost it already.
Who has questions for Larry? Okay, right over here.
Some questions.
Here we go.
Hey, Larry, I just want to know, why do you have so much of affiliation with pygmies?
You know what? It's funny you say that. I used to do it. I do a thing in my act where I always do a joke. My dad used to be a preacher, and he was good too. Boy, my dad, he knew what he was talking. My dad's the only fella ever make a Jehovah's Witness go, look, we got to be getting out of here. There's way too much talking going on. But so when he would pray for the food, which was great, you know, but he would go along and go, boy, he's going to pray for even the pygmies. So I just added it to my show. So that's why I did that.
Oh, you have a question up there? You do? Okay, hold on. Can you catch this? Here we go.
Mike!
Oh, Lord.
Who was your influence, your comedic influence?
You know what? My all-time favorite comedian was Steve Martin. The first album I ever got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, was Steve Martin. Yeah, and let's get Steve Martin.
No, let's get...
No, I just got to... Of all the roles you could play, a health inspector in your movie?
Yeah, well, here's what I was going to say. Steve Martin, when I went to see his movie, The Jerk, it was just like his stand-up act. You know what I mean? So I wanted my movie to be just like my stand-up act, and it is. I mean, it's an hour and a half of straight, hilarious laughs. Everybody's going to love it. It's PG-13.
But you don't have any love scenes in this, because I know there's like a little romance that blossoms with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's love scenes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
And your wife, by the way, is expecting. Your real wife.
Yes, August 4th.
Kara?
That's right. August 4th, she'll do it. And
your first, right?
That's right. She wants a little boy, and I want a 16-year-old Polynesian girl.
I'm with you. Whichever way, just put some gravy on it.
That's right. But she's August 4th, and I am the 17th. I'm the 17th.
All right, so the movie is called Larry the Cable Guy. It opens this week.
Larry the Cable Guy, Health Inspector.
Health Inspector.
Let's make it #1 at the box office.
No, I would love it. I got the best fans. Thank you so much.
Stick around. We'll be right back. More Dayside to come.
You see a troubled steel business. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a chance to invest in a re-engineered steel company poised for a turnaround, building strong returns for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Mutual Series a leader in value investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Imagine you had a great idea and shared it with the world. To make it a better place. To make it cleaner and quieter. To make people more comfortable. Businesses more successful. The world more connected. Would an idea that great ever fly? It will. And like nothing else. Boeing, forever new frontiers.
Diabetes. Either you control it or it controls you. Here are steps that can help.
Eat smaller meals throughout the day. My nutritionist suggested Glucerna, a shake with breakfast or lunch, a bar for a delicious snack anytime.
Glucerna's unique blends of slowly digested carbs are clinically shown to help control blood sugar.
Stay active. You can do it.
Visit Glucerna.com for helpful tips, recipes, even free meal planning.
Glucerna, smart nutrition for people with diabetes.
Florida's friendliest hometown.
golf free for the rest of your life on all of our executive courses. And enjoy free lifetime membership in all 8 of our country clubs, including the Arnold Palmer and Nancy Lopez signature courses. Enjoy the best active years of your life in the Villages. Log on to thevillages.com and order your free lifestyle video tour of the Villages today.
Yes, Mr. Puppy, there is so much to discover. Like Beneful Healthy Growth for puppies with real milk and calcium for developing healthy bones and teeth.
Beneful Healthy Growth for puppies. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful. We get you to a V. Viactive gets that staying healthy and strong is your goal. So we give you 2 delicious ways to get there. Viactive multivitamin chews and also calcium chews for one strong you.
And before we go, we want to say hello and thank you to our servicemen who have joined us here in the audience today, all week long, as a matter of fact. Thank you for your service to our country. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding up there.
And 2 people back here, 50 years of marriage.
Yeah, man.
What a great audience.
All right, here's Fox News Live and Jamie Colby. See you Monday.
Hey.